Man, you know how jealous this makes me. This is ridiculous. It's like I'm going from one day talking about Arsenal drawing to Brighton at home, ruining our chances of a top four finish, and then I go into my next game review, which is Liverpool beating Barcelona. Barcelona 4-0 in a Champions League semi-final to go to the final, and they're going to be facing Spurs or Ajax. It's an unbelievable chance for Liverpool, and actually I think they're going to win it now. It's madness. Absolutely madness. This is why I love football. This is why I especially love the Champions League. It is the greatest club competition in football. Don't care what anyone else says. I'm itching for Arsenal to get back into it because this, I'm so jealous. Oh, I'm jealous, all right. This is absolutely unbelievable. And as if Arsenal could pull something like this off. Gotta say, Liverpool just perfection. That is a 10 out of 10 performance if I've seen one. What did they do wrong tonight? Yes, Barcelona maybe could have scored tonight. They had maybe 2 or 3 relatively good chances, but otherwise, it was men versus boys. It was embarrassing at times. Barcelona just away from home, their last results in the Champions League away from home in knockout stages, especially, it's just shocking. It really is. It's not the first time they've blown a 3-0 lead, and Valverde's got to go. He's got to go. You can't keep your job after this. Barcelona, it's Barcelona, right? You don't get away with this. You don't. He will be gone. He might not even finish the season. Yes, they've won La Liga, but this defeat, if they had lost, I don't know, by a goal when it was really, really close, as in the first leg was 2-2 and then they've gone to Anfield and been beaten 3-2. That you can probably kind of get away with because the manner of that defeat is entirely different to being 3-0 up going into the second leg and then losing it 4-0. Sorry, not just losing it, bottling it 4-0. The one goal that really stood out for me, and all credit goes to the 19-year-old English, just saying, English player, which is great for us, Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's about to walk away from taking a corner. I think it was Shaqiri who was about to take it. He gets about a metre away from the corner flag and he sees Origi completely unmarked in the box. And he quickly jumps back on the ball, whips in the perfect ball for Origi to finish. And boy, that chance, I know everyone will be saying it's an open goal, whatever, he should score. But actually, if you slow it down, that is not an easy finish. And Origi has been incredible tonight. He got the winner against Newcastle, and now he deserved his start tonight. Does he deserve to start in the final? Debatable. I think you go with your strongest team. Salah, who wasn't there tonight, well, he was there, but he didn't play tonight. How have they done this without him as well? Without Keita? Without Firmino? I dread to think what it would have been with Salah on the pitch. Honestly, it could have been 5 or 6. Really embarrassing for Barcelona, but Origi deserves a lot of credit, but there is one man who I think deserves more, and that is Gini Wijnaldum. This guy, it's a real odd one because I almost see him as a bit of a box-to-box. He's pretty good at defending as well as going forward. But actually, I don't know, maybe he's gone back to his roots when he was back at PSV. He was able to sit behind the striker and he was just so dangerous. I remember the good old days, when he was behind Memphis Depay, for example, who maybe was on the left or up front, and they were causing havoc. And in this Liverpool setup, I don't really know if he should be a box-to-box midfielder when he's got this much presence in front of goal. He can do the job that maybe Firmino does. Now, I know in the first leg he was playing false 9. He was basically doing the Firmino role. It didn't quite work out, but I would try it again. I honestly would, because Gini gets himself in great positions. He really does. He gets himself in great positions, and I feel like he could do a very good job doing what he did tonight. And it's the late runs into the box. That header was just... it was just an incredible moment, and coming from an Arsenal fan who, of course, would rather Barcelona went through, because why would I want Liverpool winning the Champions League? It's already scary enough that they're almost going to win the Premier League. It could still happen. They could win the double now. Oh my God, kill me now. But it's just incredible to watch. And they deserve 100% to go through. Van Dijk in defence, just one of the most solid defensive performances of the season. And it's not even uncommon now, is it, to see Van Dijk perform like that. Even Matip next to him. Brick wall tonight. So impressive. Robertson, incredible in that first half. Unfortunately, he had to come off. But he is turning out to be one of the most world-class left-backs I've seen in a long time. Honestly. He's reaching that very, very top level. And it wouldn't surprise me if soon he is known as the best wing-back in the world. At least up there. Because he is already. It's crazy. But Trent Alexander-Arnold at 19, he's doing things that most players can only dream of at the end of their career. It's just Henderson as well. Like, how does Klopp do that? How does Klopp get a performance like that out of Henderson? No disrespect to Henderson, but come on. Come on. You've got Rakitic, you've got Vidal, you've got Busquets, you've got Arthur coming on. Like, all of these superstars, right? And then you've got Henderson outperforming them all. He did more than all of those other four midfielders combined for Barcelona. They were just shocking. Messi, who arguably was missing for half the game in the first leg. He came up with... Obviously, he came up with the magic, especially the free kick. Okay, and Messi, you could argue, was the real difference between the two teams. Because Liverpool didn't play badly at the Camp Nou. It was very unfortunate for them to come away 3-0 down. We all saw it. We all knew that Liverpool didn't deserve that. A draw probably would have been a good result. Okay? Come to Anfield, and Messi has... I think he's had 2 shots or so that were relatively close. But otherwise, wasn't there. Completely missing. Now, you can't rely on Messi to do everything. Because he wasn't helped by his teammates today. Jordi Alba was so wasteful. He's normally so good in that final attack. But today wasn't on it at all. Suarez, very poor game. Really poor. Coutinho, I mean, he might as well have been in the red shirt still. He was absolutely useless. And he has been quite a lot this season for Barcelona. Not living up to the money, that's for sure. Not living up to the days where we saw him shining at Liverpool. And it's just funny enough that he's had one of those performances today. And he was really, really quite bad. I thought Busquets actually had an okay performance. If you watch the game and specifically watch what Barcelona do in midfield, everything was coming from Busquets, and he was keeping the ball nicely, he was passing it on. It was then everyone else that seemed to be losing it. Although Busquets, obviously we know he's not the most mobile, and when Barcelona don't have the ball, he has to rely on his positioning to get him out of bad situations. And there were a few moments where Fabinho, for example, was just quicker to the ball than him and was able to get through. And Milner in midfield, obviously went back to left back in the second half, but Milner was all over them in midfield as well. Vidal was okay, actually, I should say. Rakitic had a poor game, which is unlike Rakitic. I'm a big fan of him. But let's talk about PK, because part of me feels like this is a prime example of a player that we know is quality, we know is one of the better defenders in the world, but when he has an off game, you realise he really isn't as good as everyone says. I think PK might just be one of the most overrated players in the squad. Big fan of PK over the years. I love the fact that he's so good on the ball, he's Barcelona DNA, but defensively, I think he's always been very mistake prone, and tonight we saw it. We saw a really poor performance from him. And Longley as well, who's had a very good season at Barcelona, didn't have any confidence today. Every time he was on the ball, he was getting closed down by Shaqiri, Origi, Mane, whoever it was, and just couldn't keep up with the game. He just... I don't know what to say. And ter Stegen, bless the guy, who's conceded 4 tonight, probably couldn't have done much on any of the goals. It's just one of those things that, you know, you look at that corner where Liverpool have scored when Barcelona defenders and everyone in the team completely switched off. Who is at fault there? Is it the goalkeeper? Because if you watch the replay, ter Stegen's busy talking to a defender, a teammate, whatever, quickly realises, oh God, all of the defenders are not even facing the ball. Number one rule at a corner, if you're defending it, keep your eye on the ball. If you're communicating with teammates, just listen out for it. You don't need to make eye contact to know that you've got to mark a certain player. They'll just shout, get Messi or, whatever it is. But none of them looking at the ball. And it's too late. Bang. The ball was that good. This is a Champions League semi-final, and I have never, ever seen anything like that in a semi-final before. Absolutely embarrassing. And they deserve to go out. So what does this mean for Liverpool? You've got 2 games left in the season, both of them with a trophy up for grabs. It's possibly the biggest fortnight. I don't think it's even a fortnight, is it? I think the Champions League game is in a couple of weeks, but it's the biggest 2 games in Liverpool's recent history. And I would argue that tonight, although it's not as big as the game in not as big as the game in Istanbul, where they've recovered a 3-0 loss to win 4-3 and win the Champions League, but this result is right up there as one of their best in European history. Because what this means now is they go into the final heavy favourites. Tottenham, I don't think they've got enough for this team. And Ajax will have to, I think, perform better than they've performed before. And we've already seen how crazy good they have to be to do what they've been doing. Beating Real Madrid, beating Juventus. It's no easy feat. I think Ajax can make it through to the final. I think they probably will beat Spurs. I've got a feeling that they will. But this Liverpool team is another story. Their counter-attacking ability is frightening. I'm predicting a Liverpool Champions League win. And if they can somehow win... Well, I think they will beat Wolves on the final day. They're at home, right? They're playing Wolves in their final game. Let's say they get a 2-0 win there. If somehow Man City don't win, I think they're playing Brighton away from home, I think it is. You just never know, okay? Brighton have nothing to play for, but we saw how good they can be against Arsenal, who are shit. But just imagine that Liverpool win the Premier League title and then they go on to win the Champions League. I think a lot of non-Liverpool fans, if not everyone, will have to deactivate social medias for a while. Get off Facebook, get off Twitter. Who uses Facebook anyway? Get off Instagram, because we will never hear the end of it. So I'm going to be cheering on Ajax. Of course I am. I can't imagine Spurs getting into the final. Oh, imagine if they win. I actually feel a bit sick just thinking about that. Liverpool, I'd take. Okay, it's bad, but Tottenham, oh, God. So praying that Ajax get through and then beat Liverpool, because otherwise I'm all for English success in football, but my God. If you are not a Liverpool fan and you are genuinely okay with them winning the Champions League, get your head checked, because you will never hear the end of it. You never will. It will be going on for years and years and years. How they won the Premier League potentially and won the Champions League, and Man City bottled it. Oh Jesus, no, I can't even think about that right now. As for Barcelona, it's a real sour taste to the end of a pretty decent season for them, and it does mean, I'm pretty sure, new management. Who is going to be the new Barcelona manager? I don't know. Eddie Howe, maybe? Gets linked with every job, doesn't he? It's going to be an interesting few weeks for Barcelona, because there's no doubt in my mind that there's a lot of players there that probably shouldn't be. If you look outside of the superstar players, it's a pretty mediocre squad. Players like Semedo, yeah, they're coming on. Malcolm, great talent, but hasn't really worked out. You do think to yourself, that isn't a Barcelona-esque squad, is it? When you look outside of maybe the top 5-6 players in the club. They've got a lot of ageing players as well. So big summer ahead for them. If they really want to go back into the Champions League and start winning it again, they have to revamp a lot of those players and a new manager as well. Because Valverde's been shown up a few times now in Europe and it ain't good enough. But Liverpool fans, let me know how you're feeling. I can only imagine how exciting that was for you. I remember, as an Arsenal fan, just the one time when we got to the Champions League final, we played Barcelona and we actually went down to 10 men in the first half and my dreams were absolutely shattered. I hope that's not the case for you guys in a way, because it's very upsetting, but getting into the Champions League final 2 years in a row is an unbelievable achievement. They just got to go one step further now and actually win it, which is very, very possible. It could happen. But thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoy these match reviews, please do subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow night for the Ajax-Tottenham review. And then, of course, we've got Arsenal and Chelsea playing on Thursday for the Europa League final. Sounds crap now, doesn't it? So make sure you subscribe, and I will see you then.